Hey folks, welcome to the Friday night stream, and tonight we are just chilling out, taking our time. We're not going to work on anything in particular unless we kind of get down a train of thought. But the first thing I wanted to show you guys is that I managed to get particles to attach to sockets. Okay, and I got that working. So you can see here that I've got it attached to a head socket, basically following the infection, right? So these can be set up fairly easily and triggered fairly easily. Now I'm also thinking it's going to be a case of sod the arrows, right? I think we're just going to basically destroy the arrow on hit, right? Now I'm going to leave certain things, for example, when we shoot the big dude, right, and I'm going to transfer this across, and apparently we can't shoot a sodden thing now. Oh, I don't believe this. I do not believe this. I wonder. I had undone all this. Okay. No need to panic. No need to panic. Right. What we do is we just drag that back onto the scene. We delete this. We set our collision. Or at least our mesh. Okay, tell you what, I'm going to undo that. Right. And I'm going to open up our backup. And then I'm just going to copy over our original arrow, because I thought this had been saved properly, but apparently it has not. So as I said, we're going to copy it over from our backup. Okay, so let's just do that and get it back up and saved before we do anything. How are you guys out there in YouTube land tonight? Hope you guys are well. We're just going to wait for this to load up, okay? Okay, here we go. Close that. We're not going to have to worry about the shaders. Now, I was having a little test of something earlier on with this, right? I had loaded in Sparrow, right, as a possible thing that I could base the third person shooting mechanics on, but that may not be possible. But I didn't have enough time to look into it totally, so we're not going to worry about it too much for the moment. But what I do want to do is get this over onto the other screen and open up the arrow, right, and you can see that this is actually the original arrow. Now I don't actually need to redo this as such, right, because it does hit, etc. Right, now let's open up our original, which is this one, and redo it, right? So the box extent was 32. That kind of looks right, but not quite. Okay. So our mesh is in the right place. Okay. So the thing we want to do here is, if we look at our mesh, it's on 180, but the interesting thing is that this is set to 0. Right, so that is actually how it looks in our backup. If I look from the top, this looks exactly the same now. So in effect, we can delete that scene. We can go to here, save that, right, and now if we press play, we should actually be able to shoot something. Which we did. Okay. And now, if we go into our parasite monster, we can close our other project down. Right, then that was set to snap to target, so we'll put it back the way it was and then we can make a decision on it, right? But in the meantime, we'll just get rid of all this. And that's us back to the way we were. Okay? Hi, Abandoned. You do whatever you do. Right, so we'll put this back, and I'm pretty much going to now. I'm getting to the idea now that our characters should, or arrows should basically just bugger off. Right? Now, I don't know why we're not getting why are we not getting the effect? Well, there's why we're not getting that. Right, but why are we not getting our bloodburst all of a sudden? No, it's a bloodburst. The fire effect ain't happening because I've disabled that, right? But we should be getting this bloodburst. Right. So you should see like a bloodburst coming out of her. Right, so as I press this, you should see a burst of blood. There we go. And there. Right. Which is good. And if we want to set our fire back on, we can do that. Right? And I am definitely now swinging towards destroy the arrow. Right? Destroy actor. Now, the interesting thing might be that this might muck up the arrow cam. Okay? But really it shouldn't. Right, so we should get our blood splatter, then it should go on a light. Right, he dies. I suppose that's what he should do. Right, but anyway, I'm going to move this guy out of the way a bit. You go over there. Right, and I'll tell you what we'll do is we shall get a light and a point light. And we'll put it there just so we can see this dude. Right. Disable that. Resume. Okay. So what we need now is a dissolve. Right. Now I do have a dissolve in another project, which is a post-process, which would be fairly easy to do. And it is quite a nice effect, but I'm just wondering if we have anything, which I know we do. There are dissolves in this, in here somewhere as well. Right, it's going to be something like, right, if I don't press the wrong blooming button. Right. So, it's going to be a material. There's this material function collection. Materialize. This is the other one I've seen. Right, let's have a look at this. Right. We've got dissolves. This is the type of one that I've used before. Oh, scanline. That's interesting. I'll need to remember that. Right, so what looks amazing? Positional dissolve. Right. So, well, what we'd need to do is add this to the project. Now, this isn't going to be very big, right? Because it's only mostly materials, right? So we can add to project, and we need to make sure we get the right one here. And it's this one. Add to project. Actually, these look better in motion. As I said, I had a previous one which will probably be pretty much the same as this one, and it looks pretty good, right? What did that say? 1 gig? Did that seriously say 1 gig? I hope I'm I hope I am. Right, so let's have a look at these, eh? Right, what were they called? Materials or something. Something. Right. I don't know what these are called. It's not that one. Have we got them in here? No. Right. Material function collection. Right. So we've got these materials. I've got to dissolve. And you can basically change the colour of these, right? And we'll be able to do that depending on the colour. Right? So we can pick a nice yellowy colour, but in the meantime what we'll do is we shall go into the maps and see what it wants us to do. The dissolve is going to be used for taking away the creature, right? What I'm going to do is the creature will basically do its animation of falling over dead. The particle system will get switched off, and then it will dissolve out of the game, and then it'll destroy it. That's the plan. Right, but in the meantime, we're back to our lovely shader issue. Right, edge, we're not wanting edge fade or emissive. We're going to be wanting positional dissolve or just dissolve. Right, which is kind of this one, except we're going to change the colour of this. Right, so basically when I press play, these will actually do something. Right, but they've got a material on them, as you can see. And basically you just probably switch to this or something of that nature. Right, in the one I had, you did the dissolve in the actual blueprints, right? It looks like you do the dissolve is automatically done in the material, right? That's how it looks like to me at the moment, right? So I'm guessing maybe, yeah, it's material function. Right, so I'm guessing the material function will have some sort of a timer on it. value step. Yeah, right, so I'm guessing it's this value step. That is basically doing our dissolve. Okay, so this kind of works a little bit differently to the one we had. Now you can set, well, the base colour isn't going to be that important really. Right, I'm just having a look about this while we wait for these shaders to compile. Right, I mean, I guess we could press play. Right, I don't know what the idea here was, but the camera doesn't work how you think it's going to work here, guys. I can tell you that much. It's actually taking automatic control of the camera. I'm not doing anything. It's just basically going to cycle through these, I take it. Right. So you can see there that it's doing the dissolve thing. These materials aren't there yet, so you can't really see what it's doing. Right. So I guess we can just stand and stare at this until it actually brings up, does these shaders. I don't know if it makes any difference or not, whether we stop it or leave it. Don't know. But I can tell, well, I can tell you one thing. If we're going to do this, we're going to have to apply this texture to our monster, right? So in effect, we're going to have to set a variable and we're going to call it m underscore dissolve, and it's going to be a material instance. Now we might need to do this as a dynamic material instance. So dissolve, okay. And then basically what we do is we can do this in the first instance for a laugh, right? What we can do is we can say begin play. We can get our mesh. Then get materials. Right. Then for each and we can set material, right, and we do that. Right. And we don't do that. We get this, right? Then if we fling that into there, right, then we save all that, save all, drag this. Now you can see these beginning to do stuff. What we can now do is we can go to our map, go to our test map, and hopefully press play. And the unfortunate thing is that it hasn't compiled yet, so it looks like nothing basically. Now what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to put a delay on this, right? So because it'll probably happen before anything actually we are able to see anything on the screen. So I'm just going to do that and put a 10-second delay on it. Close to 900 subs. I'd say closer to 800. Unless I've just suddenly got 40 out of nowhere. Well, we've got one, so thank you whoever that was. But we're on 840. Right, so I wonder if we put this in the viewport, I wonder if we can simulate. I wonder if it's going to simulate that. Yeah, you can see it's not done the shader yet, right? So it will do that. So I'll be able to show that, but unfortunately the shader ain't working yet. So basically what it's going to do, right, is it's going to take a noise pattern. Yeah, that's what we're going to do, Quite Abandoned. We are going to apply the dissolve on the infected when it dies, right? That's the whole point. We're going to hit it, which will create the blood spurt. Then it's going to fall over dead. Well, sorry. It's going to create the blood spurt. Then it's going to catch fire. Then it's going to fall down. And then it's going to dissolve. And then we're going to destroy the actor in the game, right? That's the whole point. Yeah, we've still not done it yet. Right, this is a bit of a bummer. This is the problem with bringing stuff in and testing it, that you end up having to do lots and lots of compiling of shaders until it remembers it all. No, it's just gratifying and satisfying when you actually get it all to work, because it looks like you've actually made an effort, you know, rather than just half-ass it, you know. So all of these effects, right, for example, if I do this, right, and I shoot him, it's only missing one part, right? He's gradually catching fire, you can see that, right? And then he goes down. And then we want him to dissolve out. Okay, and that'll be the final piece of the puzzle. So, if we hit simulate again, and it's just going to go grey a bit, yeah? Yep. Not ready yet. And then we'll have to change the colour of it. Right, which we can do, and we can do it on the fly. Right, so what we could do is go to here, right, and then rather than go for that, go for something like more of an orangey colour, like that. Right, now, as I said, we could have done this on the fly, right, but that's going to probably suit better our colour. Now, we've got different ones. I don't know what this one is. Right, I don't know if that's due to something else. We'll just have to need to take a look at these to see what effect they have. Right, because we might need to use this one, which is going to be basically a transparency one. Which might actually work better for us, but I'm not 100% sure. And we might need to plug in our temperature. We might need to put our texture sample in here for the dude guy. Right. Or we might need to, well, there's the colour. Right, but our dissolved texture might have to go in here. Right. So, if we look in here, go to the blueprints. Although having said that, these might be showcase assets. Demo room. Let's see what else we've got here. What's this? Right, okay, that's a... See, this is why this is probably why it's so big, right? Maybe not. He's using the sign thing there. But obviously, again, he's got all of these things that we're not going to use. All we require are these functions and materials, right? So everything else can be deleted out, which is why I was really surprised that it was a gig, right? But most of the stuff can basically go once I've got a general idea on how this works. Right, these showcase assets can go, the maps can go, the blueprints can go, blah blah blah. Right, that map can go. This is only 2 folders that need to stay. Right. So all we need to do is worry about that. We can press simulation again to see if we're getting anything yet, which we probably aren't. Nope. Right, good idea for me to have a cigarette break at this point due to the compiling. I would appreciate it if you haven't already. Hit the like and subscribe. Check out the links in the description. Well, nothing would happen, it would just make the ground see-through unless I destroyed it at the end, but that wouldn't make any sense. Right, but check out the description for links to the game's Discord, my personal Discord, Patreon and previous game on Steam. I'll be back in 5 minutes. We'll give this a chance to compile a bit, so I shall give you guys 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Alright, your 5 minutes is up. Yeah, we're compiling, that's why we can't really do anything. And unfortunately it's a new set of shaders. And unfortunately they're not done yet because we get that nice grey nothinginess. I suppose the best idea here is to open that map, right, so you can see them gradually getting gradually coming to life. Right, so you can begin to see something. I don't know what they're doing outside. Ooh, I've got a bit of a slowdown now. Right, but we can see some of the effects here. Right, we've got that edgy bit. Got the emissive. So you can kind of see that working. Kinda. And wouldn't you believe it, but it's our dissolves that are completely not done yet. Alright. Right, you can see as we get closer to these, they dissolve, right? That's not the one we want, but we kind of want these ones here. Right. I'm guessing this is the signs one. Right, we don't want the MI cave dissolve. We probably want. You can see here that it's got a couple of them. You can see, I'm guessing it's this one, the signs one here. The signs dissolve. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about. Right, so for example, we probably need to get our other thing to do it with. But I think this is the one we want. Okay. I'm sorry about this, guys, the shader thing, but we kind of started it and we can't do our dissolve without doing this. I'm thinking that it would been quicker if I'd have done my other one, the dissolve that I've already got, but I think this is probably more efficient because it's all done just in the material. But hey ho, what can you do? What can you do? If anybody's got any other questions, fire away in the chat. I've got a minute or two here to answer any questions. Or indeed take a moment to hit the subscribe button. Let's have a look at these other ones just to see what we've got. That's the positional one, right, where the closer you get, it dissolves. Right, some of these are quite nice. I like that one, the one in the middle. And I quite like the one on the right as well. And some of them are quite interesting. Right, these are obviously affected by these blocks that are moving in and out, you know. Like it's more pronounced here. Right. And we've got the Fresnels. And then we've got the ones on the other side. Which is texture panel. Pulsing, which I'm pretty sure that's just like just doing the emissiveness. I like the scan lines though. I definitely like the scan lines. I kind of like the wind wave as well. It's obviously doing some weird stuff. Wibbly wobbly. Let's see what this does. Effect tiles the texture regardless of active location. Okay, whatever. Right, and that takes us back to our dissolves. Now, if we do press play here, alright, we can see these better now. Even though we've still got a bit of shaders to do. Yeah, it's the same one that we want. No, you didn't take long at all. Right. So, we know which one we need, right? Which is this one here, right? We need the signs dissolve. Okay, so if we went to here, we can load up this zombie and its signs dissolve. Okay. Compile that. Let's try simulating again. At night. They get triggered at night or at sunset. Right, now the thing about this one is where do I plug in the other material, right? Right, this emissive colour. We haven't really decided yet whether they're going to be particularly. They're going to be aggressive, right? But they're not going to be overly aggressive. Right, I'm going to undo that for now. Right, because I'm not too sure what that is. Right. But we are going to set it to that. Now, originally, this signs thing there should be another texture here, right, which is the original texture of our monster, right? So when it talks about putting the other texture in, it's talking about that. Okay. So this is the texture sample here. Okay, so this should actually be a parameter. and so should that. Okay. And this is the thing that's doing the time on it, right? As I was telling you, there'd be some sort of a timer on it, right? Now, this has to be the thing as well, right? All of these textures have to be set to the right thing. But I really wanted to see the final result to see how they actually work, because it looks to me as like this could be the right one as well, but it's kinda not. I think they're poison. Unfortunately, you have to use them, but they're not good, put it that way. I mean, explain to me one thing that they've brought that's good to anything. So, not a big fan, you could say. You see, I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't just like comment these with put your thing here, put your thing here, turn it into a parameter and stick it there, right? I mean, surely that's easier than saying put it in, you know. So, to me, if these are all the same, right? A texture, right? That's a texture. That's a texture. And they're all the same texture, right? You'll notice it didn't change, right? Why didn't they just like do this? Right, it's not so easy for that one, but you'll get my point in a second. Right, why didn't they just put these all together and say, put your texture in here, or turn them into a parameter and stick your texture here? This is the normal, right? So we've got the normal. That is possibly not the same one. That's metallic. Okay, so metallic, normal, texture, and it's not that one. And I'll pick that one up wrong, so we don't actually want that one. So this one, metallic, this one, diffuse, if you've got one. This one is the normal, and this one is the metallic, right? we've got a base colour is coming from this one, so that's your albedo or whatever it is, depending on what you normally call it. Now you'll notice here it's got these diffuse multipliers, but these probably aren't even used, right? That's probably just for that sign and nothing else. Right, I'm betting that we can make some changes to this and take out half of this stuff here. Right, but that's just my personal thoughts on the matter. Oh, it's trying to do something. Right, kind of worked, except I don't think it's going to work because we've not got the timer on it. I don't think this applies the timer on it. And you'll notice that it's got the weird crap. It'll look better in a minute. Right, so again, this is what I've been trying to get into you for the past couple of days since we had a look at the assets, right? Assets never do what you want them to do, right? They just don't. So, what we actually need to do here is go to the signs dissolve, right? And we know that this one is M, right? So what we'll do is we'll convert it to a parameter and we'll say base color, right? We'll take this one, actually, no we won't. We'll say change this to metallic. This one is the base color, right? So we'll say base color right. We'll convert this to a parameter and we'll say text normal, right? And then this one is metallic again, right? So what we'll do is we'll just call it metallic 2. Okay, except we'll try and spell it right. It's not really a very good question, because I live in a completely different country with a completely different cuisine. So it kind of becomes a moot point, because even if I could, I couldn't, because I wouldn't be able to buy the same food. Or if I did, it would cost an arm and a leg. So it's kind of a moot point. Right, so there's various things that I liked that I can't. It's really sad. I'm not big on food at all. In fact, most of the time I couldn't care less as long as it's something, right? And I don't absolutely hate it. But I would really like roasted cheese with Scottish cheddar and what's it called? Mother's Pride bread, plain bread, not pan. So what you do, right, is you toast your bread on one side, then you put your cheese on top of it, then you turn it over, right? So you can't make it in a toaster because that wouldn't work, right? So this is the problem. You need, first of all, you need a grill, right? So the next thing you do is put cheese on top, pretty thick, okay? And then next thing you do is, once it's all, the cheese is all melted, take it out, salt on the top, then you chop up tomato and you place the tomato on top of that, and it's brilliant. And it's really plain, but I'm sorry that's pretty boring, but well, there you go, pretty boring guy. So now you'll notice we have our base colour metallic to normal. Right, why does one of them, why did the metallic not become a variable? Why did the other one not become a variable? Right. How's that work? Close that down. I just say yes, what the heck, I didn't change anything. Right. Right, stop being an ass hat. Right, there we go. So, in our signs dissolve, where is our fourth blooming texture? Right? Where is it? It's not in any of them. All of them are open and we don't have another texture. Now, funnily enough, this actually wouldn't matter because We only need one of these, right? But the point being, that it should have came up. So I kind of don't get it. Right? Kind of don't get it. I mean, we can look at this one, right? And what we can actually do is plug the same parts into the different things, right? So in theory, right, we can do that. Okay, then we can do that. And then we can do that. And that. And then we can do that. And we can do that. No, you don't do that at all. Right, what we do is we do that. And we do that. Right, now that should in effect have exactly the same result. Okay. Was there something up here? Am I hallucinating? My favourite sports? Football. Not Chucky Egg Ball. Football. Actual, real football. And my favourite team is Airdrieonians. And it's a rubbish team in Scotland, but hey ho, one has to support the local team. It's one of those things. Right, we're going to do this to see what we get. And there we go. Right, now you'll see that he's actually going see-through. Right, which is kind of what we want. Now once the timer is applied to this, it's going to be good, right? But what we need to do is we need to apply the different. You see, I kind of don't like this actually. I kind of don't like the way this is done. But anyway, right, we'll just do it anyway. So, what we'll do in the short term right, we're going to have to change this, right, to dynamic material instance, right? Because we are going to have to do some stuff to it. Right, we're going to have to pass it in those variables, okay? Now, this is normally where I would probably change the names of these to be something standard, right? To text base, text normal, text whatever, right? Because on realizing you know, so what we're going to do is we're going to get this, then we're going to set param, and it's going to be a texture value, right? Then we're basically going to do it again, and then we're going to do it again, okay? And we're going to do, well, we need their names, right? So base color, metallic 2, and probably text normal, right? So we're going to need to change these. So if we save that for now, don't know why I did that, but anyway, let's not worry about it. So first one is going to be base, was it base color? Then text underscore normal. And finally, metallic 2, I believe. Right? So next we need to get the textures for this, right? So basically we've got to go. Now what I would normally do was end up saving this as like a structure, right? In a data table or something, and then just pick them out through there. But for the sake of the stream and seeing if we can get something going here, I'm just going to get monsters, and then we're going to get parasite, right? And we're going to get the textures. And I'm kind of worried here because you'll notice that this has got loads of textures, right? So this is probably not even going to work, right? Which is a bit of a bummer, right? So I'm getting the feeling that this isn't going to work, right? But we're going to have to try something. Right, so we'll just go base color. That, I suppose. normal. That, I suppose. I don't know, mate. I do not know. I would have to get into here, right? And then this is one of my weak points. This has got, you know, it's got lots of elements. So this would start giving us issues, right? There's different elements to this. So basically, we're kind of screwed. Because for all the different elements, we'd have to do the same thing. Right, so this is why I'm just doing the body normal just now. Just going for it. Now, you'll obviously notice as well, we haven't got a metallic, right? So I'm going to have to go for something. That's occlusion, roughness, metallic. Right, normally right, so it's going to be this one, right? No, it's going to be this one. It's ORM. So it's like RGB. So R is occlusion, G is roughness, and B is metallic. Right, that's the way it normally works, but we're kind of screwed. Okay. So this is not going to look right at all. Unless we could do it as the material. Hey Abdulaziz, how you doing? Unless we could do this as a material function, right? This is not going to work because of the way this actually works. Right? I'm just wondering here. Yeah. That's the colour. You see, there's nothing here that relates to the material that we're actually trying to... If we could pass the material in that we want to switch between, then we'd be in with a chance here. But this ain't going to work. Right now, I'm not even sure. Yeah, I think the other way I had of doing it will work. Right, but the problem is that we've got different elements here, which means that we're kind of screwed. Or maybe we're not. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Right. So we did this. And we're dissolving, right? Get material. Wait a minute. That's the material. No, that's okay. Right. So Yeah, this isn't going to work very well. Looks like we'll have to go right back to the drawing board with this one. Not even going to do it. Well, that's a bit of a disappointment. At least it was doing something earlier. Right, let's add a breakpoint. Right, add a breakpoint. Get back to our map. Yeah, I'm not surprised, but this ain't going to work anyway, so... Well, it's not going to be how we want it to be, so... It... You know, what can you do? But I do have some code that might allow it to work. Right, but it's done slightly different. But them's the breaks. Right. I'm not really bothered for tonight because, you know, it was a Friday night, just chill out and do something. And so I'm not really too bothered about whether it actually worked or not. It would have been nice if it had worked, but, you know, as I said, them's the breaks. So it would appear that this particular asset, as per most assets, aren't actually fit for purpose, right? Because they don't work in a normal setting. Because I'm not doing anything that isn't unusual here, right? And the fact that this has got different elements is not anything unusual here, right? And it having more than one element has just basically broken that asset, right? You just can't do it. Right? Unfortunate, but them's the breaks, and that's the way it goes sometimes. So we're going to press play, right? And we're going to see if it actually does anything. It will take 10 seconds to do it. Alright, so there we go. Okay. Base color. Text color. Metallic 2. Then it does all these. And resume. Now, this is a load of rubbish. Okay. I know what I've done wrong, so what we need to do is create dynamic material instance, right, and we put it into dissolve. Okay. Okay. So that wasn't right. Now, for each of the materials, right, we shouldn't be targeting that. It should be set We should be setting material. Right, this is a material. Yeah, this is one of these days. Yeah, we don't need that in actual fact. All we need is the number of array indexes, right? So what we should actually do, right, is hi Eknath. So length, I mean, don't even need to do that. This should still work, right? So let's try that. As I said, this it's going to go off, right? The material is going to go off. We're going to dismiss that, right? Step over, step over, step over, resume. And it did squat diddly. Hey, awesome. Now, is he still, no, he's not still grey. Right, has he gone weird on me? Apparently not. Oh, you've just started with Unreal. Well, you've got a lot of fun ahead of you. This is still not working. Right, disable. No, in fact, we want to enable that breakpoint, right? I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I didn't set it to the base. What a doofus. Come on. It's not the cave dissolve. Indeed, dissolve. Dissolve signs. Signs dissolve. I'm guessing. Right. I want some sort of result here. Right? Any kind of result will do. Right? Well, we got a result. The fact of the matter is that it dissolved. But the problem is, it dissolved too fast. Right? I think that's what happened anyway. So we did, in fact, get an actual result. The problem was that I think it happened far too fast. Now, that shouldn't have been the case, right? And I'll show you why. Because there's nothing different about the time here, except that this isn't plugged in. Now, the question is, where should the time be plugged in? Right? MF dissolve. Right, so MI, this is actually, you know what? This is the actual thing. So this timer has to go somewhere. Right, so I can only assume right, I'm confused. I'm confused. Right, I'm seriously confused here. Right, that's the missives. And that's the dissolved, right? Right, we're not interested in the pulse. Right, sod that. Right. Right, we're not interested in that. We're interested in this. Right. Right, now. This thing apparently this doesn't do, hasn't been set up any differently. All it does is uses this material, right? According to this, yeah, it's done anyway, but the problem here is right, we know it's using them, but the problem is that these parameters there's something going on with the time. Right? Now, as I said, this is probably my weakest subject. Materials followed quickly behind by animation, but I don't get why the time is not having an effect. Okay? Now, the issue before, if we go back to our maps, right? This is going to have to be a quick one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get our parasite monster, right? And we shall basically bypass this into here and see what it does, right? Okay. We're going to do one more thing. Right? We're going to create material. Right? And we're just going to make it a material instance. Okay? We're going to save that. Then we're going to make it MI. I hate it when it does that. It decides to signs. Signs dissolve. It's this one here, right? If it finally gets round to doing it. Right? We save that. And instead of doing M dissolve, we'll just do material, right? Plug that in there. Compile it. Press play. There you go. Right, so it's something to do with that dynamic material, and we're going to leave it there. But I'm going to take another route. I'm going to check my previous project. I know it does it a lot differently, but I'm pretty sure it worked a lot better, right? Well, obviously it works a lot better because it actually works and this doesn't, but thank you guys for watching. I'll be back tomorrow, 2 PM as usual. Hit the like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the stream. And yeah, check the links in the description for links to the game's Discord, my personal Discord, my Patreon, and my previous game on Steam. Yeah, materials are a bit harder to keep tidy, Cybershell, to be fair. To be fair, it is actually a bit harder to do it. Because you can't use shortcuts to like variables and stuff. That tidies up a lot of blueprints. But as I said, I shall be back tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you